everyone, I'm currently having another bit of a clean out and reorganize of my spare room, and I thought now would be a good time to film a couple of short videos for you and just go through a few very short brief book recommendations on a range of topics. And I'm going to start with some of my favourite books about art, kind of like less just showing pictures of art and more kind of informative learning about art type books. One of my favourite ones is Living with Vincent van Gogh. This is great if you're a fan of his art like I am. Like the Van Gogh Museum in Amsterdam was one of my favourite things that we visited while we were there. And this is, I've read a lot of books about him and his art, and I have quite a few more as well. And this one's one of my favourites because it goes through the different places where he lived and what his life was like and how that influenced his art, the different phases of it. And you know, in some cases you have literally like side by side comparison pictures of like the places that he painted and his paintings, and it's really nice to kind of like see that because you understand like his vision and how he saw the world, and it's just kind of beautiful. So I do love this book. One of my absolute favourite types of art is botanical art, and again I've read a lot of books on this topic. Actually, brief interlude, one of my favourites, if you kind of want to learn how to do botanical art yourself, is the Q Book of Botanical Illustration. This is fantastic. It literally takes you through step by step drawing and painting techniques, and it's amazing. This book has helped me improve my watercolor paintings so damn much already, and I feel like there's still so much more I can learn from it, so this is amazing. But the one I actually want to recommend is one of my favorite books of all time, and this is The Golden Age of Botanical Art, that literally takes you through the history of botanical art, with lots of really beautiful examples and illustrations, and it kind of shows you how different styles developed over time and how research and scientific study influenced art and art influenced research, and it's amazing. I love this book, it's fantastic. For something a little bit different, I have this, which is the companion book to the V&A Museum's Fashion from Nature exhibit. It was one of my favourite exhibits I've ever seen at the V&A Museum, and I love that museum. I go to a lot of exhibitions there. I will often take a day trip down to London specifically to go see stuff there. And this book is fantastic. The exhibition was fantastic, and it's really nice to keep a little piece of it that I can keep referring back to and reading through and, you know, looking at all the beautiful pictures. Basically, it's about how nature and fashion are so completely interconnected and how they both influence each other. So how nature influences fashion in terms of materials, design, pattern, and also how we can go forward in the world of fashion and use it to raise awareness about natural issues, about conservation, about saving the environment, how we can use more eco-friendly materials. Really damn good. Love this book. My last recommendation briefly is another kind of companion piece to a museum exhibition, and this is the Tim Burton Designing Worlds book. If you're a fan of Tim Burton's films, his art style, everything, then this is the book for you. It is incredible. It features some like interviews with him and stuff as well, but mostly it's just really damn inspiring in terms of learning about his art, his style, seeing how it's developed over the years. It's really inspiring in terms of character design, costume design, which is amazing. And if you've been to the Tim Burton exhibition, which is currently at the Design Museum in London, then but it's toured around the world, so you may have seen it elsewhere, then this is a really good book that kind of like goes along with that. And again, it's like you can take the museum home with you and keep reliving it and getting inspired. And yeah, there you go. There's some book recommendations. I know I talk too much. Hey all, I'm back with some more book recommendations for you, and today one of them isn't actually a book, it's a map that I'm going to be recommending, but we'll get to that. But today's theme is about kind of like books about England and getting to know England and the UK, but in a slightly more unusual way. So my first recommendation is just basic, we're going history. This is Richard Tames's England's Forgotten Past, the unsung heroes and heroines, valiant kings, great battles, and other generally overlooked episodes in our nation's glorious history. Big long title, fantastic book. It contains really nice short little mini passages of information about Britain's history, stuff that maybe you wouldn't normally know. It's got the basics in here, but it's also got some of the more unusual facts and fun stuff. If you like the silly side of history, this is a good place to start. It's kind of like, in my eyes, horrible history for adults. I like that. I think it's very fun, very digestible. You can pick it up, put it down whenever you want. I also want to recommend, this isn't a book, and this might be a little bit of a weird one, but this is the Great British Folklore and Superstition Map, and this is damn cool. This is basically, as you can see, a giant map of the UK that I can't even be on camera with this, that points out really cool local folklore, myths, legends, crazy history. On the back, you've got this really cool map, so you can literally like check off places as you visit them if you want. You got things like here, like one of the points is the Pendle Witches. This bit here is really cool because this is a map purely of places in the UK with devil in the name, including the Devil's Appendix, Devil's Kitchen, and Hellmouth in North Wales. Over here we've got, well actually I can't say that one, there's a little bit sweary. Going up a little bit further north, you can go to the Devil's Stones. And then over to the east, you've got Hellhole, Devil's Punch Bowl, Devil's Ditch. Very fun. But it's really cool because not only is it a really like nice, accurate map of the UK, but it also gives you a little bit of information about like the different folklore that is kind of relevant to that area. And I find this really cool, and I really love looking at this and reading about it because not only is it interesting to find out about, you know, Britain's folklore and the myths and the stories and everything like that, but it gives me inspiration for places that I want to travel to and visit, so I think it's really, really cool. Finally, speaking of inspiration for places I want to visit, I'm also in here going to throw on Caroline Taggart's The Book Lover's Bucket List, which literally is a tour of great British literature, which takes you around the UK and various places, and it tells you where famous books were written or set, where famous authors lived or were born, and all the really cool landmarks that you may not know about, but that are definitely worth visiting. And if you like books and you like the UK, can't recommend this enough. Hey everyone, I'm back with more book recommendations, and today's theme are books about birds. You guys know I love birds, I'm obsessed with birds, and I read a lot of books about birds. And today I have a couple of recommendations for you. It's really hard to narrow this down. My first one is a book that you probably heard me talk about quite a lot in videos. It's mentioned in my new book, which is very nearly done. I've been saying that for 3 months now. And this is Mary Colwell's Curlew Moon, about the beautiful bird, the curlew. One who is so iconic, is so beautiful, has the most distinctive call, but is often overlooked. And it's a bird that I wish more people knew about, and I think it's wonderful, and this is a beautifully written book. Cannot recommend it enough. If you want something a little bit sillier, then I recommend Matt Sewell's Our Garden Birds. He's also got a book about owls. These feature these beautiful, silly watercolour illustrations of various birds that you will find in gardens all around the UK, with really like silly, fun descriptions of each of them. It's a very silly book, it's very fun, but it's also informative at the same time. I love the art style, I love his style of humour, it's brilliant. Around the World in 80 Birds is part of a series that I really love, which is the Around the World in series. I've got the trees one, I've got the plants one, I've got the fish one. It's fantastic. Basically, it does what it says on the tin. It takes you around the world in 80 birds, and it tells you about different kind of iconic birds from different locations around the world, and it takes you on a little tour, so you really have something for everyone in here, no matter what kind of birds you like. It's informative, it's beautiful. Again, I love the art style. Great book, great series. One of my favorite books of all time is Sam Lee's The Nightingale. This is Notes on a Songbird, and it is just so damn stunning and perfect, and I love this book. I love it. I have nothing but good things to say about this book. It not only delves into like the literal bird as we know it, where they live, where they can find them, what they're like, but also how the nightingale has inspired folklore and song and literature over the years, and so much art as well. And it's just a beautiful book about a beautiful bird by an incredible person. Love this. And finally, I'm just going to throw in very quickly The Robin, a biography by Stephen Moss. Again, beautiful book with some of the most gorgeous like art and stuff in here. It goes through month by month, and it's just wonderful. If you like robins, can't recommend it enough. I think I was quicker with this one. I'm getting the hang of I'm not, I still talk too much. I'm doing it now. Hey everyone, more book recommendations now, and today's theme is books that make you want to take a walk on the beach. It sounds specific, but I have a lot of books to talk about. First up, this is absolutely stunning. This is From Coast and Cove by Anna Koska. Anna is an incredible artist who takes you through season by season about basically life on the coast, and she has the most beautiful illustrations in here. She's also an incredible writer as well. It also features passages on some of my favourite birds like the curlew, who you may have heard me mention in other videos in this series. Love that book, it's beautiful. For a slightly more scientific approach, if you will, this is Heather Buttervant, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, her book Rockpool, Extraordinary Encounters Between the Tides. This book makes me want to go out and look in rock pools constantly. It has made me more aware It has made me more aware of what life is in rock pools. I am so much more observant now when I see them. I genuinely want to get an underwater camera and try and take some of the sorts of photos that she has. I find it so damn inspiring. She once found a baby octopus in a rock pool, and I'm very, very jealous of that because, oh, look, there it is. That's the dream. That's what I want to find in a rock pool. But I love this book. It makes me want to get outside and look in rock pools. You know what, that's what I have to say about all of these next ones. They make me want to go outside and look on the beach and observe the world around me more. It makes me more aware of my surroundings. It makes me appreciate them a bit more. And yeah, I think there's something really beautiful about just like being in nature and taking it all in and just taking a moment to like be really present and be like, yes, this is what I can see, this is what I can feel, this is what I can experience, and this is what I understand about it. And these books not only remind you to do that, but help you with the understanding part. And I'm very quickly just going to go through them. This is The Seaweed Collector's Handbook by Miek Swanborn. This is Pebbles on the Beach by Clarence Ellis. This is quite an old book, if I am remembering correctly. I believe it was published originally 60 years ago. There you go. So a few of the bits of like kind of geology stuff in here are a little outdated now, and there is a note about that in the book itself. But just his whole experience of, you know, collecting pebbles on the beach, experiencing them, it's all beautiful. Still recommend this. And then in a similar vein, these are two books about shells. We have Philip Street's Shell Life on the Seashore. It shouldn't be a tongue twister, but it is for me, too many S's. And then Spirals in Time. This is The Secret Life and Curious Afterlife of Seashells by Helen Scales. I love all of these books. I cannot recommend them enough. There you go. Please enjoy.